Here we are back again. My good buddy Wes,
Back at it. More
back
bantering, more beards.
a little bit less, a little bit more. I don't remember where I am most days with the beard now. I'm like week to week. It's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit longer, but
Last
it's
time
here.
you were a little bit shorter, so more bearded is where we're at today,
More bearded.
which means
That's
more
good.
bantering.
That's right. Bantered beardom. So there's a lot going on right now in the sports world. So we're sticking with this
So much going
trend
on.
of sports banter. And neither of us espouse to be experts on any of these teams that we talk about. Just say that from the start. So if you hate what we're saying, so be it. If you love what we're saying, so be it. But neither of us are sponsored or hosted by any of our teams, just to be clear.
I would love it. Vegas, my pals, the evil empire, villains. I'm ready for some villainy. Let's do this.
So catch us up for those who have not been tracking with the Stanley Cup series. Catch us up on what has happened so far.
So I do believe that when we last spoke, the Stanley Cup playoffs were about to begin, or they were in round one and had been playing already. They were already playing because the Sabres were in.
They were, and we had some
They were in.
thoughts. We had some predictions that turned out to be not so accurate.
We were all wrong. I was very wrong.
And
Uh,
I.
I I was right about the East. I was right about the East. The Carolina Hurricanes made it to the finals. They're there. I expected them to be there. Where I was wrong was Vegas being there. I did not expect Vegas to be there.
Right.
I
You
expected Colorado to handle them and send them home for the year. But in the wild, wild, wild turn of events, the Vegas Golden Knights not only beat the Colorado Avalanche, they swept them. They beat
made it
them
look
in four
easy.
games, and that it was the biggest surprise of the season so far because they were the President's Cup trophy winner, the Avalanche, which
Hmm.
means they were the best team in the entire league. The best team in the NHL gets a trophy every year called the President's Cup,
Yeah.
and that was the Avalanche. So everybody thought for sure that Vegas had met its match. It's over. The ride is over, and they swept them right out of the playoffs, and it just awestruck everybody.
Right. Right. And you never were so happy for being so wrong.
Oh, no. I mean, Colorado was a great team. Colorado has a lot of deep, deep players, a lot of great players. I
Mhm.
really expected that to go six and we would be out. And I mean, for to give credit to Colorado, they were not 100%. Kale McCarr, their defenseman that they had, their big time defenseman they picked up in the offseason last year, was hurt for the first two games and didn't look 100% when he got back on the ice. Nate McKinnon, their elite offensive guy, and I think he's the captain of the team. He took a puck at almost 90 miles an hour to right above his knee where the
Oh,
padding wasn't there.
that was
And
rough.
he give him credit. He's a warrior because he still stayed out there to play, but it was very obvious that he was not okay.
Hmm.
It was not good. So
Yeah.
that definitely plays a factor into it. But here we are now. We're sitting in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Game five is tonight,
It is.
and it's in North Carolina in Raleigh. The series is tied up 2-2, and it has been probably one of the most entertaining series in the past 20 years.
So say a little bit more about that. We've had some double overtimes. We've had some really cool games. If people aren't in, like, there's so many championships that happen at the same time of this year. NBA, the World Cup has just started. The NHL's wrapping up, but there's so many good reasons to keep watching, peek into what's happening in that Stanley Cup series. So
Yeah.
what has been the story so far of these games?
I'll start off with how many records have been broken.
Yeah.
In game three, the double overtime game, there were four records that were broken that night. Four of them in just one game. Two by Vegas and two by Carolina. The two that Vegas broke, Mitch Marner, our premier right winger, has now become the fastest player to score a hat trick in a period,
Hmm.
and he did that in 6 minutes and 10 seconds. The other one was also Mitch Marner, who has the most points in a single period, who is now got 4 points in the period. He had an assist in that period as well. Carolina broke the record for fastest 3 goals in a playoff in a Stanley Cup
No,
playoff.
this is unbelievable. This
Yeah,
one to me is just like when you told me this a couple days ago, I was like, "What? I thought I heard you wrong." It's
no,
insane.
I it, 3 goals in 39 seconds. Bam, bam, bam. They
39
ripped him
seconds.
right 39 seconds. Ripped him right out. Ripped him right out.
That's crazy. That is
Yeah,
crazy. But
yeah.
39 seconds. You know how many things I can't do in 39 seconds?
And they did that all in 39 seconds. It
That's
was crazy.
wild.
As a fan of the sport, I was in awe because it was just how that's just so unreasonably lucky.
Yeah.
The shots that they were, because they were not just like open netters or like they got very lucky and got some good looks and they took advantage of opportunities. They did exactly what they needed to.
So you were saying too that there like the first there was a sequence of goals was interesting, right? Like one of them was skill, the other two were kind of goofy luck, right? One bounces off the
Yeah,
heel of somebody. Talk
yeah.
about that because
Oh,
I want to
so
hear the
so
story again.
the those goals in particular, the one that the last one you're talking about, that was in the double overtime.
Oh, okay.
The second overtime period had just started. Shea Theodore, one of our defensemen, had the puck out in by the neutral zone, and he was coming up with it, and he just took a shot. He wasn't trying to. I don't think he was trying to shoot it towards the puck, the net. He was just trying to get it into the zone, and it hit the back of the rink, bounced off, and hit a Carolina defenseman, which then it bounced into Brandon Bussey, the goaltender for Carolina, and it hit the back of his skate and it bounced into the net, and that was game.
Crazy. Crazy. Off the outside
Crazy luck.
the wall of the
Yeah,
rink, then into the players and then into the goal. I mean,
yeah.
you can't make that stuff up.
No, and
What a
you can't.
game.
In NHL hockey, it's all about luck sometimes. Sometimes luck is just plays a part of it, and that was
Yeah.
just dumb luck.
Yeah.
Dumb luck. One of the goals that Mitch Marner scored in his natural hat trick bounced off of the Carolina defenseman sticking into the goal. Marner wasn't shooting for the goal at all. He was just trying to pass it to another player, and it hit the stick of the Carolina defenseman, and it bounces right into the goal, and that counts. It's still a good
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah. Just an own goal, right? That's what they call them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's demoralizing. That's demoralizing as a team.
Sure.
But the story for this Stanley Cup playoffs is there is no predictability.
Mm,
Nothing that we know about these two teams has stood. I'll be quite frank, the goaltending on both ends has been bad. Has
mm,
been bad, historically bad. The worst goaltending average is an 8.5, and right now between the three goalies that have played in the Stanley Cup playoffs, we're sitting at an 8.55 save percentage. So we're playing pretty bad goaltending.
yeah.
But at the same time, these two teams are just offensive powerhouses.
Wait,
They're just loaded.
say that again. So the what's the 8.5 stuff? What I didn't get that.
The the save percentage,
So the save percentage is 8.5%.
8.55. Yep.
8.55. And their current percentage is what?
The worst one was 850. The current one is 855.
Okay. So is it the higher it gets, the worse it is?
The more goals scored, the lower your save percentages. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for making it low level for me. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, these teams, like I said, they're just offensively, they are just deep, they're loaded, they're fast, and this is the best pound for pound matchup you could have had. These teams are just that equal in defense and offense and power play and in skill and just knowledge. They're just both deep and they're both widely smart
So it
and they're
could be
playing
that
great hockey.
yeah, it could be that these goalies are performing at a very high level, which obviously they're professional athletes.
Yeah.
They're the top of the heap, but these offenses are just so good that they're making plays happen and they're getting
Yeah.
lucky. And they're getting
Yeah.
lucky.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure.
Wow. So what do you expect for game five tonight?
So from the beginning, I predicted that this series is going to go six, and the so far I've been backwards on my predictions because I thought the wins would be Carolina, Vegas, Carolina, Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. It has been the other way around. Vegas won the first, then Carolina, Vegas, Carolina. Tonight they're back in Carolina for game five, and I predict that it'll be Vegas, Vegas, and series will be over on Sunday in the Fortress and T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, and the Stanley Cup will go back to the Vegas Golden Knights, and they will have an opportunity to take another picture like this.
It's beautiful.
2023, 2023 Stanley Cup champions. They're going to
Yeah.
get another one of those.
A lot of happy people right there. A lot of
Yeah,
happy paid people. Oh, that's cool. I hope that is the case for them. Although I know that there's a angry mob of people shaking their fist at the Vegas
there's a
Knights.
lot of them. There's
Yeah.
a lot of them. And I, understandably, I get it. And it's just because Vegas is always in the middle of everybody. They are the nuisance. It's kind of like the Patriots or the Chiefs currently. They're always in the mix. They're always annoying, no matter how good or bad they are. They are always in the mix of a Stanley Cup. And people really hate it is because they're an expansion team. This is year nine for the franchise, and we've been to our third Stanley Cup, and we're two games away from winning our second Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen with an expansion team. You look at the other two expansion teams in Seattle and Utah. Utah made it to the playoffs this year, but Seattle has been awful. They've been terrible the entire time, and
Yeah.
that's what's supposed to happen.
Right. Right. And yet Vegas keeps getting themselves the talent they need to stay sharp, and they keep coming up with the top tier. You just sent me something the other day about somebody who was rumored that they're considering going to Vegas, right?
Dylan Larkin. And
Yeah.
Dylan Larkin, the best center of that's going to be available this offseason for free agency. He is a 11-year vet. He has played all 11 years in Detroit for the Red Wings. He is the captain of the team. And a couple of weeks ago, he requested a trade out of Detroit, which makes sense. Detroit has only been to the playoffs one time in the entire time Larkin has been there, and that was his first year. So from Dylan Larkin's standpoint, yeah, he wants to get a cup. He wants to chase a cup.
Hmm.
But the comical thing about it is he has a no trade clause, a full no trade clause, which means he gets to decide where he wants to go.
Yeah.
Detroit can go out and barter all they want, but if Dylan Larkin says no, then he ain't gonna go. So then it came out that Dylan Larkin put out a three-team list of teams that he wants to go to. And he wants to go to the Florida Panthers, the
Yeah.
Minnesota Wild, or the Vegas Golden Knights. And all collectively, the hockey world went, ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? Why? We know why. It's obvious why. He wants to be on a
He
team
wants to
that,
contend. He
yeah,
wants to
yeah.
contend.
He
And
wants to
those
be,
three
he wants to
teams
go
are
deep into the
major
season.
contenders.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't, right? If you're at that level,
Yeah.
trying to it. I get it.
And in Vegas, for the villainous status that we have, Vegas has become the haven for players that have been cast aside and told that they're past their prime or they're no longer good, and then come to Vegas to revitalize their careers. Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Alex Pietrangelo, Marc-Andre Fleury, Jonathan Marchessault, William Karlsson, Brian McNabb, Max Pacioretty, like all these guys were like cast off. We don't like them. They're not good no more. They're not going to be good for us. So you can have them, Vegas. Take our garbage. Well, Vegas took the garbage and turned it into gold,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they've been smart about it. And it also helps that Nevada doesn't have any state income tax, so that helps a little bit as well.
It's quite the appeal for the
It is,
multimillionaire
yeah, for
hockey
sure.
player. Yeah. Um, so we will see. We will see over the next couple of games what happens. This will probably go up after obviously after tonight's game gets played. So we'll
Yeah,
see looking back at it. Um, if Wes's record stands, that the prediction goes opposite of what he calls. If it does, then he will be very disappointed. But if it doesn't, he will be rejoicing in the next episode, jumping up and down, screaming. He might even have a
Yeah,
paper mache Stanley Cup in his room with him, holding it up in the air. We'll
I'll
see.
be waving that stick right there. That's the Vegas stick. I'll be
Oh, is
waving
it?
that around.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
That'd be good.
I'll be honest. Obviously, I want Vegas to win, but there are a lot of feel-good stories for both the Hurricanes. I almost said the Panthers, for the Hurricanes and for the Golden Knights. For the Hurricanes, especially, Taylor Hall has been a journeyman. He is one of the older players on the team. Jonathan Stahl, I think his name is. I might be getting his first name wrong, but the captain of the team, his name is Stahl. They've both been journeymen in the NHL, highly renowned players,
Hmm.
beloved by wherever they've been, and they've never won a cup, and this is the closest they've been. And
Okay.
Carolina has been on the brink of the cup for 8 years now. Rod Bador, their head coach, won the Stanley Cup with the Hurricanes in '06,
Okay.
and he's trying to become the first head coach to win a cup in the same place that as a head coach that he won it as a player. So that's a great feel good story.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
on the other end, Vegas, John Tortorella, he is a legendary coach. He is one of the most winningest active coaches in the NHL. The last time that he won a Stanley Cup was 20 years ago with the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of people kind of thought that he was past his prime and past his usage, especially for his coaching style, because he's known as a bit of a hard ass and he's the hard knocks guy.
Hmm.
And so for him to win a cup would be really cool. Mitch Marner, the guy that came from Toronto, basically exiled and excommunicated out of Toronto, is now lighting it up, and he's a front runner for the Conn Smythe Trophy if Vegas wins. He's gonna be the Conn Smythe, which is MVP of the
Hmm.
overall playoffs. To give you a perspective on that, Mitch Marner with the Toronto Maple Leafs over the course of 90 games had about 20 points total. Points being goals, assists, all that
Okay.
fun stuff, because they track all those individually as points. In the single run playoff run with Vegas, he's got 28 points in about 19 games.
Just in the
So Mitch
playoffs.
Marner just in the playoffs. So Mitch Marner has really just been proving to all of the doubters that it was Toronto. It wasn't Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner wasn't the problem. It's Toronto is the problem, and Toronto doesn't know how to play their players
Mm.
and utilize them to because the whole world was on the shoulders of Mitch Marner. Best comparison would be like Lamar Jackson. He was Lamar Jackson in Toronto.
Okay.
Amazing regular season, but when the playoffs came, where'd you go? What happened? Why
Yeah.
haven't you gotten to that point
And
yet?
then the criticism is what's wrong with him rather than how are they
Yes.
using him and making sure that he has the support he
Right.
needs and the team quality around him.
Right.
Yeah.
I should have said Josh Allen because that would have been a better comparison because they've had the equal, not even like digging at the Bills. It's just that's kind of the same level.
Yeah.
Like Toronto would make playoff runs, but they would never get to the cup. And whenever the lights were the biggest, that's when Mitch Marner would
Mm.
falter. It's
Right.
kind of the same thing. It's like with the Bills, they get deep, but when it matters the most, where's Josh Allen?
Right.
Well, stop putting the whole world on Josh Allen's shoulders. What about the other 52 guys on the roster?
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
about the other 10 guys on the field? It's the same idea. Like if it's all about how you coach these guys up and how you play them.
Yeah.
So that's a real good story for Vegas on that end.
Yeah. So there's heartwarming opportunity on both sides of the rink. And so if Vegas doesn't take it, there will be reasons to rejoice and celebrate for those who do. And
And I will be one of them. I will be one
yeah,
of them. I
do
will
you
celebrate for them entirely
do you have a
because this is
Carolina stick up there you can wave around in case they win it?
I'll just turn that one around and just show the blank side. No, I would have no qualms about if Vegas lost because Vegas wasn't even supposed to be here, let alone this
Right.
far along.
Right.
Like people, there were five other teams that had a better record than us in the standings that didn't make the playoffs, but Vegas did.
Mm.
So, I mean, you
Make
know,
your own conclusion. Draw your own conclusions there and what's happening. But
yeah.
I've also heard it said that the NHL, you kind of were saying this earlier, there's so many unpredictables in hockey. You know, the puck off the back wall into the player, the knee shot from the other one that knocks somebody out of their game for the day. Not
Yeah.
out completely, but just off their game. Like these things, there's some more, the variables are a bit more controllable in other fields of play than they are
Yeah.
in the NHL. I've even heard it said that that's why it's so like if you want to lose your money in betting on sports, bet on hockey, right? Because you just can't predict. So hard to predict. So not
Yeah.
endorsing that, but it's the idea that it's just anybody's game. It's anybody's game
It is.
tonight. It's anybody's game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So I want to turn our attention from hockey to something that's pretty interesting right now. And I don't think either of us, maybe you'll surprise me, but I don't think either of us are very well informed in, you know, the most beautiful game, as it's called, of soccer in America, football in Europe. And I just read something online. This is pretty interesting that the United States will play their first game, by the way, tomorrow night, Friday night,
Yep.
in the World Cup. And as we're sitting here, the first game started today, this afternoon, not for the States, but in the World Cup um, playing. And there's a chance that the U.S., if they take second in their group now, will go on to play Iran in the
Oh
next
my
round
gosh. Oh
on
gosh. When
July 3rd. Which, in case for our international audience, in case you don't know, the 4th of July is essentially the United States birthday, Independence Day, as it's called. And
it's a big one this year.
the last time, it's another kind of interesting cue. The last time that the U.S. played Iran in the World Cup, there was such a heated political conversation happening that Iran requested that the U.S. be essentially kicked out of the World Cup for the sake of what was going on. So I don't think temperatures have gone down at all related to the nations, but the play of the
No.
sport could be a great way for us to come together and just realize we're all human beings in need of goodness, kindness, and compassion.
100%.
So I'm keeping
100%.
an eye on that. Keeping an eye on that. Any thoughts on the most beautiful game?
I do not know a whole lot about soccer,
Yet,
football.
yet, but
I
I feel
did
like you're right around the corner.
I did watch the last World Cup where Argentina played France,
Yeah.
and I watched Mbappe play against Messi, and that was exhilarating to watch. Watching some of the best players go at it. I don't understand the sport, but I've also been told that soccer is just a larger version of hockey as
Mm-hmm.
far as like the rules and how it's played. So that will help me to understand it a whole lot more. But any scenario where the world comes together to play a sport and
Yeah.
compete, I'm in for it. I will
Yeah.
be here for it
I like
every
that.
day of the week.
Why not?
Every day of the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's all come together. Let's come together. Let's make it fun, make it recreational. Get hot with each other, get competitive, put it all out there. I love it. I love it, and I think it'll
Yeah.
be a good time for the nation to cheer for their country and for the sport of soccer,
Yeah,
football.
absolutely. And soccer is becoming a much larger, it's getting a lot larger of margin of popularity in this country, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing, I think. Soccer is not nearly given enough credit for what it is. It's the second largest sport in the world. I bet you don't know what the first one is.
Is it
Trivia time.
pickleball? Is
It's
it
cricket.
pickleball? Cricket?
Cricket is the largest sport in the world, the most
Yeah,
popular sport in the world.
I only laugh because I always hear about how
You're
pickleball is the
close.
fastest growing sport in the world, and like
Yeah.
I don't see it, but okay, yeah, it's fun to play, but cricket
They don't
makes
even play
sense,
with real pickles.
right? Yeah,
I mean, come
there's no
on.
pickles in pickleball.
I mean, you could probably hit around a gherkin pickle. All right.
Sure, better
They're
than I could have
bouncy
pickleball.
enough.
Well, now that we're saying that, come to think of it, I don't think there's any crickets in cricket.
No, no,
Maybe that's a
no.
secret sauce of elevating your sport of choice is come up with some odd thing that is in the name but not in the sport.
I'll have to think on that one.
Do
We'll get an answer next time.
it.
New sport that we'll create. No, but I agree that this it's in a sports like this on this level, on this stage. I mean, I think it's been predicted that like almost 4.5 billion people around the planet are going to be watching this. This is a prime opportune time, not just for the United States, but for every country out there. And the Olympics showcases that every 4 years, that we can all come together for the sake of the common good. We
Yeah.
can. We
Yeah.
can. All this nonsense for struggle of power and bickering and nonsense and disagreements on what people should and shouldn't do. It's all McDonald's. I'm going to put it like that. It's all McDonald's. It's all drama. It's all gossip. It looks different across the board, but
What
it's
do you
all the
mean
same
it's all
thing.
McDonald's? It's all
So, so our gossip around here is McDonald's. But you go across the pond, it's Burger King. You go across to another pond and it's Subway. They're all the same thing. They're all the same types of problems. They're all the same kinds of issues. It just looks a little bit different. It's
oh.
McDonald's. It's all the same.
I like your
And we
foreign
all
affairs
want the
policy
same.
and understanding. You're
Yeah.
matching up foreign affairs with your different preferences for fast food. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Hey, you want 4 day work weeks and you want 12 breaks a day and weird foreign policies and more bearded stuff. Vote Wesley 2028. I got you. Together, we will be bearded better.
That's right. I love it. You got my vote, man. I'm gonna write you in if you're not on the ballot.
I'm gonna write myself in. No,
So
but I do. I'm excited.
me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to the season of it. The other thing going on right now is the NBA. The NBA, the
Yeah,
Spurs and the Knicks are battling it out for the championship. We just had it's a back and forth series. I think people thought the Knicks were going to take it. They went into Texas and won the first two games
yep.
and came home. And I talked to some folks that were saying, man, they can't be beat at home. They can't with the energy that they're coming in with. And lo and behold, the Spurs pulled the first game out. They made it. They won. Series was 2-1 Knicks. And now they win last night. The Knicks win last night in a
Historic comeback.
wacky,
Historic comeback.
wild, down 29 and then
Yeah.
come back. And I saw Charles Barkley talking after the game. He was saying the Spurs just played so dumb. That was his frame up for the game. So
I love
dumb. He
Charles
never
Barkley.
saw, yeah, he just says it how it is. I never saw
Yeah.
a basketball team play so dumb. And, I didn't, I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend to know enough about strategy on the court, but I watched highlights, I rewatched some plays, and I just thought, man, the Spurs, it almost seemed like they just went into win mode. They won it before the game was over, they thought. And
They
then
hit cruise control.
yeah, they hit cruise control and the Knicks start dropping threes and all of a sudden they're back in it. All of a sudden they win. So they go back
I
to
have a
Texas
theory.
and try to take it.
I have a theory about why it's going to go back to Texas. It's on purpose. The NBA planned it that way.
Oh yeah? Got a little
Not because they're
conspiracy theory in you.
not be, it's not much as a conspiracy as much as it's a safety thing that the NBA was thinking about. Because remember when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl against the Patriots?
Yes,
Remember
I do.
how
Yes, I do.
the carnage that happened in Philly afterwards?
Yes.
So that's why the NBA was like, we can't let them win it in New York City. We just
Mm.
can't. It can't be a sweep because New York City will be leveled to the ground. There will be no more New York City because those fans are itching for a championship from any of their teams from
Yeah.
anywhere,
Yeah, they're
and they are about to get
eager,
one.
hungry for it.
Yes.
A friend
So I
went down
can't
to
imagine if they sweep. Oh
yeah,
boy.
it would be wild. I know one of the biggest complaints about Trump going to the last game or the first game was it the first game in New York. He was there and
Third game. Yeah.
they're and he was population was frustrated because they couldn't party the way they wanted to outside the stadium as a result of the president being on the premises.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might be you might be scratching up the right tree right there. Who knows? Maybe
Yes.
they're structuring it so that everybody's safe and there's limited amounts of damage done to the community where people live.
Like, don't get
But
me wrong. When New York wins, there's going to be carnage in New York City. It's going to be wild. It's going to be the biggest party that city has ever seen. But it's going to be a little bit less of a hazard because it's not going to be in New York City. So there'll be less people there
yeah.
because some fans will travel to the game
All
in San
right.
Antonio.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, with our limited knowledge of NBA and these teams, let's throw a prediction out there. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, the series is 3-1 right now. I think they close it out in San Antonio tomorrow. Is it
You
tomorrow
do?
they play? Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
I think they close it out. I think it's over. I
Okay.
when the San Antonio Spurs are a great team, but they're young and they don't know what they don't know, and they're learning about what they don't know. And they're going to come back next year and they're going to be better. They're going to probably move a couple pieces around, get more scoring involved and more defense. But the Knicks have been there. The Knicks have been in this on the cusp of this for a few years. A few years now. So I'm not surprised that the Knicks are finally breaking through. And honestly, good for the NBA to have a team like New York and a team like San Antonio go to the NBA Finals. The reason why I don't follow the NBA is because it's a player-run league.
Hmm.
I don't care for that.
Yeah.
LeBron has been building super teams ever since Boston's smacked him around with the Cavs way early in his career, and he went to Miami. And Kevin Durant tried to build super teams the entire time he's been out of Golden State. And Kevin Durant left the Thunder to go play with the juggernauts of Golden State, who already came off the greatest regular season ever.
Hmm.
And they added Kevin Durant. And so I just don't have as much respect for the players in the NBA as I do for other sports because it's very clear that these players are not competing for the sake of competing. They're in it for the money and they're in it for the fame and the egos more than they are the integrity of the sport.
Hmm. And there's your hot take, folks. There's your hot take for tonight's episode of Bearded Banter. Whether
Oh,
you're
I have an even
watching,
hotter take.
oh,
I
yeah.
got a hot Kevin Durant's a bum. Kevin Durant doesn't belong on any of the top tens anywhere. That's the
Oh,
hotter take.
so you don't think he's
Kevin
that good?
Durant's a
He's as
bum.
good of a player as what the rank and score would give him.
People put him in the top 10 category as one of the best players that has ever played the game. I put him in the top 10 worst players that have ever been in the game. He's a bum. He's an
Wow.
absolute
So not
bum.
just not as good as people think he is, but at the bottom.
I
Mm.
have less respect for him than I have the least amount of respect for him out of everybody in the league. I
Mm.
just dislike the way that he's gone about it. As an individual player, he's going to get all the accolades in the world because he is a good athlete. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a terrible athlete. That's not why I dislike him. I don't think he's an actual bad player or talent. I don't like his mentality. I don't like that he left a really, really good Thunder team that drafted him and to go to the team that beat him in the playoffs that they almost beat, you know? So
Gotcha.
that's like, let's say, because it just happened, it, you know, uh, yeah, I'm trying to think of a good way to put it in like a football analogy. Like, let's say Seahawks just won the Super Bowl, right? They just won it all. Let's say Kenneth Walker doesn't leave and he stays with the Seahawks and the Seahawks stayed the same. It would be like if Myles Garrett or not Myles Garrett, who's their big edge guy in New England? There's a big edge guy there
In New England?
in New England. Or no, no, it was Christian Gonzalez, their cornerback, their star cornerback. It'd be
Okay.
like if they just got beat by the Seahawks. So Christian Gonzalez says, "All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to the Seahawks now." Because that's what Kevin Durant did. Kevin Durant was on the Thunder. They had a very, very highly stacked and a widely crazy potential team. I mean, they had Russell Wilson, they had uh, Paul George, they had, or no, not Paul George, they had Siakam, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and there's one other player that I'm missing. All of them have become superstars in the NBA. All of them played for the Oklahoma City Thunder. All of them left because their egos got in the way of it. It's just
Mm.
that Kevin Durant decided to go play for the team that just beat them in the playoffs, and then he went on to win two MVPs in the finals. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to win the MVP of the finals when you joined the greatest shooting backcourt in NBA history with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Like you're supposed to do that. You're a bum. Like you didn't do it because you could do it on your own. You knew, and he's never done it on his own. He's never even come close to sniffing the finals since he's been with Golden State. He's a bum. He's just a bum.
I did not know when I brought up NBA that there was such a passion beneath the surface related to Kevin Durant. So, Kevin, if you're watching, come on, talk to Wes. We'll bring you on Bearded Banter, and you can tell him all the reasons why he's off. Uh,
Yeah, I'm here
but
for it.
we're here for it. I think there's a lot at play in the minds and hearts of athletes at that level, and you know, there's a there's a journey that they're on that some of us wish we could be on. Some of us wish we'd never have heard of in the first place. But either way, they have this talent that is impressive, and oftentimes the talent exceeds the character of the individual. And I'm
Yeah,
not talking about anybody in particular as much as just saying
yeah,
there's a tough spot to sit in when somebody's got a lot of talent as a 20-year-old, 22-year-old to get
yeah,
into those spaces. So whether folks are hot about the NBA, the NHL, or the World Cup, there's a lot to talk about in each of these
yeah,
spaces. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens over the next few weeks, months, and even years with our Buffalo Bills and
yeah. I
Houston
mean,
Texans.
yeah, training camps are on their way for the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah.
OTAs have happened. We're starting to see what these teams are going to look like, how they're going to play. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Buffalo Bills and how their camps
Not
have
a,
been going.
not as much as I had during the season, but I'll probably start leaning in as training camp passes on.
I'm going to make a prediction for the NFL that uh, Will Anderson Jr. will win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Okay.
I think he's going to win that accolade this year.
All right.
I'm standing by what I said that the AFC is going to run through Houston because that defense, for everything that we're hearing out of Houston's camp right now, from training camp and everything, is that Houston's defense is just getting better, which
That's
is
incredible.
scary.
Yeah.
D'Amico Ryans is on the record saying that he's going to have to. He was joking, of course, but he said I'm going to have to sit Will Anderson during practice because he just wrecks everything. We can't get nothing going anywhere because he just wreaks havoc everywhere. And that's scary to think this kid he's so young and he's
Yeah.
barely scratched the surface of what he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you heard it here first, folks. Here's the call, the hot prediction: Will Anderson Jr. MVP or player of defensive player of the year for 2026, 2027.
They'll never give the MVP to anybody else other than a quarterback. That's a quarterback's trophy,
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
and which is sucky, but it is
All
what it
right.
is.
So next episode we'll be talking about what happened with the series in with
Yep.
the Knights,
Yep.
and we'll also be talking maybe a little bit about what happened with the NBA and what's going on with the World Cup because we'll be in the midst of that.
We'll
All
be
right,
in the midst
Wes.
of that. We didn't even scratch the surface of the PWHL either, the Women's Hockey League.
No, we didn't.
We didn't
Want to
even touch that.
give a teaser right now? What are we going to be talking about next time on the?
Well, right now they're team building. The PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League, they expanded up to four more teams this year. So now they're up to 12 teams. They had two expansion teams in Seattle and Vancouver last year. This year they're adding Hamilton, Ontario, Las Vegas, San Jose, and Detroit are all getting women's professional women's hockey league or
Mm,
teams. So right now they nothing major has happened outside of the announcements. They're just opening up expansion drafts for those teams, and a couple of things have happened, but nothing like over the top major has happened just yet. We're almost there. I think it's next week they're allowed the floodgates open for that
all
to
right.
happen.
So we'll have more info on the women's professional women's hockey league next time around. I'm excited to hear
Yeah,
more about it.
there's a lot of good sports stuff going on.
Yes, there
This
is.
is the second best time of the year for sports
Mm. In the first,
when football season opens up.
there we go.
Oh, 100%.
I hear
Love
you.
football. Although, I got to say, my opinion is swaying heavily towards hockey in the past couple of years.
Well, talk to me. Talk to me in October, November.
Oh, I'll be hyped then, but
Y-
I don't think I've been as hyped for. hockey as I have ever been for football.
Mm,
The
same.
cheering is getting out of control.
Let's call the neighbors, tell them everything's okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, here you go. Another episode of Bearded Banter. Hit the bell, subscribe for more, all those good things. We'll be back in on the attack with more banter next time.
Stay bearded.